Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Tis Hitters, episode 34. I've got Sheridan here with me. Stay hydrated in Discord. Absolute
Hello.
legend. Say
Hi,
hi to
everyone.
everyone, mate.
Hey, everybody.
Sweet as. So stay hydrated. Sheridan, by his real name, decided
Yes.
to jump on to get trolled. I don't know why anyone would do that, but
I'll find out, I guess. I don't know.
I'm just messing. I wouldn't do that to you. Just a bit of fun, having some fun here. Hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. We're gonna smash out TIS hitters out here. Sheridan has a few ideas on the coin that we're actually looking at because he has to for me to go through everything. So just as a little disclaimer there, so Sheridan will actually be sharing. He said, "Oh wow, I'm actually in that position already." So it's a win-win for him. He doesn't need to do anything. He's just sitting there.
Yeah.
And he has a few ideas as to why he's in that position as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and check it out. So as usual, as a disclaimer, we are not financial advisors. Everything we cover on our social media, Facebook, YouTube, Discord or Twitter is not to be considered as financial advice, as we are not financial advisors. Please do not trade. Trade at your own risk and take it from there. So let's jump into it. Last week's weekly hits. So last week's trades, episode 33, we had Wabi as a token. The date was the 22nd of the 3rd. The entry was 610 sats. The current sat value is 1,330 sats with 118.03%. Don't worry about the 0.03, but that 118 as a current sat value is insanity for a weekly trade. The high since the entry is 150.66%. I mean, that's a great trade. What do you reckon, Sheridan? How'd you feel about that trade?
That was an amazing trade. I mean, I don't think anyone expected it to go up that much so quickly, but it was an excellent call by you guys.
Yeah, for sure, man. Cheers, bro. Yeah, it was a cup and handle formation, and we tried to show that and how and where we were looking at that. But yeah, it's done really, really well from that perspective. So really, really exciting to see that and put that on the board as well. So as usual, we go through and we do the ROI starting capital of $500 since 19th of Jan, and we're having a look here. We've got this current trade. Before this trade, we had $1,369 with 173.8% ROE, which is a return on equity. It's a compounded model. Now, I did say I was going to make a BTC pair and USDT pair comparison and go through that. I wanted to do that today as well, but I just haven't had the bloody chance, and we've just been working left, right, and center with developers and all sorts of stuff, building out the next, I guess, the next transition of Cryptofy and what we're going to bring to the table. So, but with this current trade, we started with $1,369 with Wabi. We took traditionally we only take 50% of the trade at 75.33%. Gives us a total running dollar value of 2,400 USD with a 380% ROE, which is insanity. And this is the power of compounding. And this is where we start to see the bigger numbers. As long as we keep in some good trades, we should be pretty good here. How do you feel about that, Sheridan? As a community member, we'd love to know. It's funny because Kurt couldn't make it today, so we've got a community member, and which is awesome. It's really really cool of you to jump on. I really appreciate it, and really appreciate
Oh,
your
thank
time.
you. Yeah.
But how do you feel with this? Like, what is your sort of? Give us some feedback on how we've been doing Tissitus, I guess, if you don't mind.
So it's very consistent, obviously. Just looking at these numbers, it's that eight green trades in a row, you know? Like where else do you get that? The tool that you guys have built is very unique. It gives very interesting signals to look through. Uh, I definitely appreciate it. I enjoy them very much.
Yeah, sweet as. And just going through the TIS trades. That's I wasn't going to ask you this question, but going through the TIS trades, is it overwhelming or does it make your life easier or just as a? I guess
Uh,
it's really good to ask. Well, I got you.
so it's just a thing to do, and it's just pings things. I look through them. I'm like, okay, this looks good, or sometimes they look like they're not quite ready yet. Uh, but the ones that look good, you can always look for good entries on them, and you don't need to take every trade. And of course, you have to apply risk management and all that kind of stuff to the trades. But the signals are very good just to look through.
Yeah, sweet. I guess what we've heard from a few people as well is it cuts out the noise and it
Mhm.
gives you a set of things to look at. It's not perfect, nothing is, but it gives you a set of
Right.
things to look at and make a decision from. Is that how you feel about it? Is that what the process of yours is like? You go through every single one and you look for certain things?
Yeah. one thing that I just sometimes just spend time doing is that I look through random charts, not just not just TIS ping charts, but just charts in general, see which ones are doing well and why, and kind of what they did before they did well. And sometimes when I look through the TIS pings, I'm like, okay, that one looks good. It looks like ones that have already pumped. Look at the next one. Okay, that one also looks good. Look at the next one. That one looks decent. Probably not ready yet, but you just it just gives you information to filter through.
Yeah, sweet as, man.
Very efficient. It's very efficient. Instead of just staring at the same three charts over and over again, depending on your style, you might want to just look at a few charts, but
Yeah, for
some
sure.
people like to do many
Uh,
different trades.
100%, and I think what you said there, it's very efficient in giving you the opportunity to look at other charts rather than the same usual charts that you look at. I think that's what some people get stuck with is they keep their eyes on the same exact trades that they're in, and they're like they go back to it, they get out of it, they get back into it, and they get burnt, and then make money, and then they lose money. And it's like it's just a never-ending cycle of just breaking even at the end of the day, no matter what you do. And I think what TIS does, it piques your interest to look somewhere else than where you usually used to looking. So I'm really
Yeah.
yeah, that pointer there from you was really cool. Appreciate that. So yeah,
Mhm.
380% ROE. I mean, that's pretty good from our perspective. Hopefully we continue on that run. Even if we have a loss here, we should be good. But don't forget, it's a compounded loss now as well because we've compounded the account out from 500 to 2,400. So if we take a 10% hit now with 2,400, we're going to end up with a $240 USD loss. Whereas if we took a 10% hit with the starting capital of 500, we would only be losing $50 USD as a loss. So it has its pros and its cons as well, but it's awesome to start with 500 and be where we are right now.
What a bad problem it is to have more than double your money, right?
Oh, you'd be surprised. All right, so let's go and check out this week's TIS hitters, TIS hits trade. It is XCM. So I'm gonna let Sheridan here go through it, just as Kurt would be doing it, and you're covering. So let's go, my man.
Okay, so XCM, the current rank is 36. It's a pretty high ranking coin relative. The USD price currently is around 35 cents. That value is 640 sats. And the reason why this pinged and Rev thought it was an interesting trade to look at was the horizontal price channel it is currently making is paired with the 4-hour MACD crossing over the zero line on the BTC pair. So it's trading in this channel and it looks like it wants to go up. It has also flipped previous resistance into support on the daily, on the USDT pair, on the daily with the MACD looking to cross bullish, but still below the zero line. Okay. And the 24-hour trading volume is 215 BTC, and it's pinged twice on TIS, once on the short, once on medium.
That's perfect, my man. Let's go and check out the chart and see what we can do. Good stuff.
Okay.
I think you'll make Kurt proud there. That was, if anything, Kurt's like, bam, 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 bam. Sheridan's like, I'm going to make this really clear and straight to the point as well. So, good stuff. You make it proud for sure. Let's go and check out XCM on the charts and see what we can see here on cryptostat.org and bring it up. Let's have a look at, we'll have a look at the data first, actually. Might as well. Let me launch my columns in there and then drop that setting. So from a, I guess, a statistical point of view, we have volume change of 32% in the last 24 hours and a price change of 2.1%. The bias change in the last 24 hours is 14.2% up as well. So it's looking pretty good there. The volume in the last 30 minutes and 60 is slightly down, but nothing major. The green outweigh the reds here from a percentage perspective. They are much higher. We have 0.3 negative, 0.5 negative, another 0.5, another 0.3 negative. Mostly little negatives there in the statistical data. So should be really interesting to see what this does. Let's go and check out that chart. So we'll bring it up. Excuse me for. Yeah, I've had this ear block thing since I came back from from Perth, and for some reason it's messing with my nose. Although it's not running. I explained this to you before because I kept sniffing, but there's nothing there, so I don't know what's going on. But let's have a look at this from a B2C perspective, XCM. We can see this horizontal price movement here where it pushes, it falls back down to test it, pushes again to test the resistance up the top, and then comes back down and hit the support again, and then it's done it again. And this time it tried to really push out, but I believe you mentioned that they had an airdrop, XYM or something.
Yes.
So that could potentially be what drove this price up a little bit higher. And then as the airdrop has happened, but it's not for XCM, mind you, it is for XYM as a different token. The demand sort of fell, and people said, okay, well, I got my airdrop, I'm going to sell. So hit the prior resistance on the 4 hourly right there. You can see if we put a horizontal line right there, that was the prior sort of resistance that I had here before the big move, and we've fallen to it once and twice again, and now we're in a horizontal channel as well, and we're looking to sort of cross and confirm above that 100-day or 99-day MA line right there. So it's really good, and we got the MACD down here. Let me bring that into the center and maybe make it a bit bigger. You can see the MACD right there on the 4 hourly as well is just above the zero line, and also in a bullish sentiment, in a bullish, I guess, area. So could be a really cool trade from here. And to be honest, for me personally, I wouldn't use this push here because of that airdrop thing. And thank you for bringing that up. I would never known. But if you're looking for a TP or a first sort of segment of TP, or even take your money out, anywhere from 1200 to 1400 there is a good first section to be taking your money out and then letting the rest ride out.
Double the price is a good first take profit point. That sounds like a good trade to me.
For sure, for sure. But always, instead of trailing to sell, you can do it yourselves and continuously adjust it manually. So just take that into consideration as well. But in this price channel, it could touch that, bounce back down, touch it again. Who knows? But it looks really good from that perspective. Now, if we go a little bit further on XCM here, let's have a look. You can see this is where it's had its range, and that blue line is where it's had its real resistance. This is prior resistance as well, where it caught some sort of support, or it just found the bottom and picked back up, and then it fell right into it, and then that became resistance. We can see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is from 2019. So this first position here was held in September 2018. It became the resistance officially in April 2019, and we've attacked it 4 times so far. I would have, expected it to hold here, but because of the airdrop, if I didn't know any better, if you didn't mention it, I would have expected it to hold here, and I would have been like, oh, okay, maybe this isn't a trade. I don't know, but it does look pretty cool there. So just keep that price channel in consideration and a potential push up. If it does go for it, look for the 2000 sat range position before making any other decisions.
So I do have one question for you. Would you say this may be? I know you normally do short-term trades. Would you say this might be somewhat longer than a short-term trade, possibly?
100%. Yeah, this is we actually analyzed the data from this on a medium-term ping, but it did come through as a short-term ping as well. Short-term ping was entry. I think it was 580. Let's have a look. Actually, let's bring that up really quickly in Discord. So XCM. We can see here the medium term is at 672. It's a little bit higher than where it is right now, which was on the 16th of the 3rd. So this is about 2 weeks ago with 1260 trading volume. It just looks like a really cool trade. And there's a short term on the 14th of the 3rd at 588. So if you had taken this short term at 588, you can see where it went from. What was the date? The 14th of the 3rd. Did it move prior to that?
That was the bottom.
Okay, there you go. So it definitely caught the bottom there, and it is up from there. So hopefully it is a move up here. Looking forward to seeing what this thing does, actually. Let's look at the USDT pair really quickly. We don't want to be spending too much time on this. We'll do our best. Sweet. So we have here flip prior resistance to support on the daily and the USDT pair. With MACD looking across bullish but below the zero line. So let's have a look at the daily on the USDT pair here, and let's throw some lines across the chart. So we are specifically speaking about that line right there. I'm sure you guys can see it. We topped out there on USDT, we pushed right through it, we've come back down, we've tested it once, tested it again, and now we're looking to go break out on a top move. And you can see the MACD here as well. Let me bring that across. You can see that MACD is looking to cross, and the histogram is so violent. To be honest, it has a bit of curvature to the downside as well, though.
There's a funny thing I want to add, if I could. That line you're talking about is actually exactly the 786 fib.
Where it is right now?
The line it bounced off of that you were drawing.
Oh yeah. Oh, from the bottom to the top. There you go. Sweet as. Well, and you know what, fibs. I've spoken about this before. The fibs are, I guess, part of nature. It's if you don't understand Fibonacci and the sequence, go check it out and have a read into it. It might just blow your mind a little bit as to how that works, and yeah, it's really really interesting. But there you go. That's a cool thing to keep in mind there. Appreciate that. But yeah, so we are looking good from this perspective to push out. Fingers crossed it does go for it, and even if it does do a 50% or 40% move, we'd be very happy with this current trade as we are looking at it from here. Now, there is something that you did mention, XCM USDT pair on the 4-hourly that you wanted to share, Sheridan?
Yes. So if you look at XEM on the 4-hourly, this pattern that it's making is a bottoming pattern. And if you compare it to BTC USD,
Yeah, let's have a look at that.
So in,
on a shorter time frame you mentioned?
On the 5 minutes or 15-minute-ish time frame. And you go to the bottom there around 50,500 between 50,500 and 52,000.
Yep.
You zoom in on that little area, the bottoming pattern that it's making right there.
Yep.
Looks very similar to what XEM is making right now on the USDT pair.
Sweet as, there you go. And you can kind of justify that. Some people might say you're looking at 5-hourly and 4-hourly, but the differences of volume is big, right? It's huge. When you look at Bitcoin, it can make crazy moves in a 5-minute candle. When you look at altcoins, they can too, but traditionally they don't. So the volume is kind of the differentiator here between the 5-minute and the 4-hourly. But that's a very interesting thing to look at, and we can see that Bitcoin actually took off from there and topped out at 56.7 or so, 56.6. Yeah, so it looks pretty good from that perspective, and you can see the correlation in it as well. So sweet as, I guess that's pretty much it on XCM. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes. Even if, like I said, if we get a 30 to 50% trade out of it, it'd be beautiful. But I think that this one can do some cool stuff here. And traditionally, this token has been around for a long time. So it can perform, and people look at that and go, okay, this thing's been around for a long time. Obviously, if it's lasted this long, there's something to it. But yeah, I don't remember the fundamentals of it and what it does. We're literally looking from a technical perspective to go from there. So yeah, that's it on TIS hitters, I guess. Good luck with it, and hopefully it smashes it out. Thank you so much, Sheridan. You've been a pleasure to have you on. It's been awesome, and I really appreciate the fact that you jumped to it and said, you know what, I'm going to do this. Hats off to you, because a lot of people don't have the confidence, or they just get a bit shy and a bit, oh my God, what's going to happen if I jump on camera? So really, really cool to see you. And now the Cryptofy community can put a face to your name. Stay hydrated in Discord.
Yes. Stay hydrated.
Good on you, man. Cheers. I appreciate your time. And yeah, we'll catch you guys all on the next TIS hitters. Cheers, Sheridan. Cheers, guys.
You too, man. See you.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you so much.